Is anyone else ready for fall temperatures? Hello everyone, I'm Zath and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my July manga haul. It was my birthday month, so I decided to splurge a little. I also found some deals that were just too good to pass up, and some box sets I've been waiting for. Now sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's talk about some manga. Moriarty the Patriot Volume 6 and Volume 7. These two volumes were some of the best that I've read for the series. Amazing twists and different takes on familiar characters, as well as increasingly dangerous stakes. The game is truly afoot and I cannot wait until the next volume. I need it now. Let's Go Karaoke by Yama Wayama. The cover really pulled me into the series, and hey, sometimes that's all you need. The story is about a Yakuza named Hyoji, who works for a boss that puts on a karaoke tournament every year. The one who sings the worst gets a tattoo of something they fear, like a Hello Kitty face on their hand. Seriously, I'd practice too if that's what I got for losing. One day he sees Satomi, a member of a school choir, and asks him to give him voice lessons. This is a one-volume series that has plenty of awkward and hilarious moments with the Yakuza taking this karaoke tournament seriously, but there is also drama. While some people may be put off, I really liked the older art style. I recommend reading if you are a fan of slice-of-life comedies. I Cannot Reach You, Volume 3. Another beautiful cover for this series. I really love the colors used. And oh man, this volume. The mangaka really showed us the ups and downs of just going with the flow, and pushing aside what you really want to do. There was an excellent bit of dialogue where a character says, "Time flows no matter what you do. Your environment and the others around you evolve, whether you want them to or not." I thought, how true are those lines? Sometimes it's terrifying to step out of your comfort zone, or change what we know to be safe. But if we don't acknowledge our own goals and desires, we hurt ourselves, and potentially others around us. As someone who is on the quiet side, I do sympathize with Yamato as a character. The relationship between Yamato and Kakeru feels very believable and natural, unlike a lot of other series out there. The ending of this volume was such a cliffhanger, almost cruel where they left it. I've already ordered volume 4, but it hasn't shipped yet, but I am dying to get my hands on the next volume, stat. Golden Kamuy, Volume 18, Volume 19, Volume 20, Volume 22, Volume 23, Volume 24, Volume 25, and Volume 26. Kato Kura, the former chief guard, is on the cover of Volume 18, and I really like his can't be bothered, everything is so troublesome attitude. Volume 19 was just crazy action-packed. I was on the edge of my seat while reading, and the series continues to be fantastic. To be completely honest with you, all the characters in Golden Kamuy are awesome and badass. I can't really go into details of any of these volumes, because there is just so much that happens to explain things from the past, motives, shocking revelations for future of the series. Talking about any of it would be a spoiler, and I don't want to ruin that for anyone thinking about reading this series on their own. You know when you're both happy and sad about something? That's how I feel now that I've caught up with this series. Happy that I've read all these volumes and was able to see what happens, but sad that I now have to wait until September to read the next volume. I enjoyed binging this series, especially considering how much is going on. Having to wait is just so painful. How will I get through my days without Sugimoto and Ogata? Oh wait, isn't there an anime? The Savior's Book Cafe, Story in Another World, Volume 3. Il and Tsukina are so adorable now that they're engaged. In this volume, we see a new savior in Othel, as well as a new figure that may start trouble for our main character. This series has 2 more volumes to go before it wraps up. Despite being a short series, I still highly recommend the shoujo series. Sadly, the next volume won't be out until November, but I can't wait to read it. Donuts Under a Crescent Moon, Volume 3. I've been looking forward to seeing more of this Yuri series. There is a lot to unpack in this volume, as feelings run rampant everywhere. One of the things I thought was very prevalent throughout this volume was the question of what is love? All the characters think about what is normal, what you're supposed to do if you fall in love. But love is different for each person. There is only one more volume for this series, and I'm cheering for our main characters to figure out an answer to that question. Kaiju number 8, Volume 3. I absolutely love this cover with Kokoru. I've liked every cover of this series. As you all know by now, Kaiju number 8 is one of my favorite ongoing shonen titles. We follow Kafka Habino as he joins the defense force and battles against Kaiju. This volume in particular was tense, even after one battle wraps up. Definitely pick up this title if you haven't. It's been a great action-packed series so far and is so worth your time. Black or White Volume 4. This steamy BL title is rated for mature audiences only. This particular volume left me conflicted because of Shige's actions. On one hand, I understand them, but he can get a little intense. Drama rooted in his desire to improve his acting career puts pressure on his relationship with Shin, and some outside parties are potentially threatening his future. I'm looking forward to reading the next volume of this series, which is scheduled to be released in October of this year. I Think Our Son is Gay, Volume 3. This is a wholesome slice-of-life story about a mother and her son whom she thinks is gay. Again, it's really just wonderful to see the support Tomiko gives her son while he enjoys life at his own pace. Even though this manga story is episodic in nature, I recommend it for anyone who wants to feel good and see how, even if you're afraid of coming out of your shell, there are those around you who will still support you. So, these next volumes were an impulse buy, and they cost $1, so I figured, why not? World of Warcraft The Essential Sunwell Collection Omnibus, World of Warcraft Mage, and World of Warcraft Shadow Wing Volumes 1 and Volume 2. Look, I play World of Warcraft, and there's some old Tokyopop manga out there. The Essential Sunwell Collection has Caligos in it, and that's the only reason I picked it up. But I couldn't get into this. I didn't like the art style at all. And at the start of the volume, Calic gets shot out of the sky by a dwarf with a shotgun. You're telling me the dragon who later becomes the Blue Flight Aspect gets one shot at max range by a short-range weapon? But mostly for the plot, I didn't find it interesting at all. World of Warcraft Mage. I thought, hey, maybe some Dalaran stuff. Kirin Tor, maybe some lore. It was an okay story about a boy who comes from a line of warriors and paladins, but wants to become a mage. Unfortunately, Dalaran gets attacked by the blue dragonfly, and of course the story's main character gets to show his stuff to help out. We do get to see Dalaran and a bit of Ronin and younger Modera, so that's neat. The story isn't bad. World of Warcraft Shadow Wing Volume 1 and 2. I didn't have time to read these two volumes, so I can't really speak to their stories. Casually flipping through the volumes, it seems like they take place in Outlands, with Nether Drakes at the center of the story. Overall, for $1, I can't be angry with these pickups as a World of Warcraft fan, but I do see why most of this stuff is probably retconned or not talked about. Naruto Box Set 2, which contains volume 23 through 48. These volumes cover the Shippuden arc of the Naruto series after the time skip. This isn't my favorite part of the Naruto series, but there are a few good arcs included in this set, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. Death Note Box Set. This set contains all 12 single volumes of the series. I still haven't read the complete series. I know I'm behind in the times. Right now I'm in volume 9, I think? And I feel like the series has a really strong start and then tapers off. I started reading the series when it was first coming out, and ended up stopping after a certain character was introduced. I found myself dragging my feet in the same spot when rereading, but I pushed through. Overall, I can't say it's the greatest series, but it has some elements I do enjoy from stories of this genre in particular. I think the series is worth reading for fans of a darker anti-hero mystery story. Blade of the Immortal, Volume 1 through Volume 31. I got very lucky with this pickup. All volumes are in great shape, and even though I've never read this series, it was too good a deal to pass up. Sam from Sam Side Quest recommended this series a while ago, but I'm not a big fan of omnibuses, so I wasn't in a rush to pick up the series. However, now that I have these readable singles, that will probably change. People seem to like this series as one of the best samurai stories in manga. While the covers are beautiful, they seem to tell me that this is probably going to be a depressing story? Not sure yet, but I'm glad to have this entire series in my collection nonetheless. And that's going to do it for my July manga haul. Thank you all so much for watching. Did you have any standout pickups for July? Did you pick up any of these same titles this month? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you all in the next video. I'm Zath. Have a good day.